Hey, how's everyone doing? Do jump in and let me know what your questions are. And if you're watching this late, then let me know what you'd like me to review in a future video. Want to talk? I have that Nootropic Steeple unboxing video, which should be coming up pretty soon. This is a product I'm enjoying so far. It's the phosphatidylserine. I have the soy-free soft gels. These are pretty damn cool because I've never seen them do this. They actually disclose the number of calories, as typically nootropics don't have calories. However, when it comes to a product like this, phosphatidylserine, of course, it will have some trace calories. This only has 4 calories per serving, but I already feel pretty calm from taking this. I'm taking a couple just right before dinner, before I break my fast, and slightly calmer. I think the biggest reason why people take this is to reduce cortisol levels, similar to ashwagandha. This, however, I notice is very effective if you're sleep deprived. Pretty much specifically, I remember using this with modafinil and armodafinil, and it did pretty good things. And what else is new? I think I'm gonna take 2021 off Wellbutrin. Just a thought, because seeing some comments on my channel about people experiencing withdrawals, I don't want to have them, and I must admit it kind of scares me knowing that I've been on it for probably 25 months now. Almost every single day, you can say. I started taking Saturdays off, but I'm in the past, when I was on Wellbutrin like 6-7 years ago and I came off of it, I didn't notice any withdrawals. However, I think I was only on it for 7 months straight. So now I always recommend to people, get off of meds if you can, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, so I'm gonna probably get off of it. And what's new with you guys? Have you ever seen NSI-1? No, Mike Wellbutrin is life. So that's the problem. That's the one problem too. I feel like people on this channel started taking it now because I'm talking about it, which was never my intention. Have you ever seen NSI-189 not work? Sorry, off topic. Have I ever seen it not work? Yeah, it worked. NSI-189 worked for me the first time I took it. The second time it worked a little bit less, and then pretty much then afterwards it just stopped working. Maybe if I got my hands on it again, I'd perhaps give it a shot, because with NSI-189, the promise of it is it's supposed to like reverse any damage that could have been done on your brain, which sounds pretty damn powerful. I could definitely feel it was working. I had my suspicions as far as what I thought it would do. And after my NSI-189 cycle, which I think was like I think it's about 21 days long, depending on how long, depending on your dosage strategy. I looked up the benefits, or the supposed benefits, and it pretty much felt like that. As far as easier to forget the past, you're almost like reformulating your life like that. It was pretty damn cool. So what else going on? I took a week off nootropics, or I took a week off most of them, with the exception of like lion's mane. I kept alpha GPC, kept caffeine and L-tyrosine, and now I'm pretty much gonna get back onto Adaptogens and some of the racetams. Thoughts on? Now, I got it recommended by a doctor. It wasn't because of your video. Oh, okay, Fallon's Fox. I apologize. I thought that you meant you asked the doctor for it, because a lot of people were. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people started taking the. I mean, like, I noticed people who were subscribed to the channel before that were not taking it suddenly started taking it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, couldn't have been influencing this. Thoughts on my stack goals are weight loss and good cognitive function. Okay. Lion's mane, ashwagandha, L-tyrosine, and occasionally caffeine plus L-theanine. For weight loss, I don't really think that's going to do much. Sure, the L-tyrosine, the occasional caffeine, and L-theanine could help. When it comes to weight loss, though, it's like there's nothing really here which is going to help suppress your appetite too significantly, unless you use L-tyrosine throughout the whole day or something. And cognitive function seems okay. And you could add some Bacopa, because based on your stack, that could complement it quite nicely. I'm gonna erase that. Do you take any vitamins? Yeah, I take a multivitamin, which has vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, and all kind of micronutrients, because admittedly sometimes I'm a bit too busy to cook or prepare vegetables. Is it true that pramrastam helps to understand hard concepts? I wouldn't really say that about pramrastam. It will help you maintain a good level of discipline to have a better work ethic, more so than anything. Make it more likely for you to have like a good level of willpower, and not be too susceptible to like decision-making fatigue or decision fatigue, whatever you call it. Wellbutrin feels like a smaller dose of modafinil, and it's going to help me take lesser effective nootropics out of my stack. Okay, cool. That's a nice way of putting it. I never really thought about it like that. I would say it's true. Yeah. How much time, guys? Come on. Can we proofread for 2021? How much time until I feel anurastam, and does it go well with phenylparastam? I don't really think anurastam goes that well with phenylparastam, because phenylparastam, most people feel like the same effects of anurastam when it comes to slightly better memory, better word recall, social anxiety kind of gone. Phenylparastam already gives you that benefit. So how much time until you feel it anurastam? I didn't really notice anurastam working the first time I took it. It wasn't until like I took it out of my stack, maybe like 7-8 weeks after having it in, was I able to tell it was doing anything. Because back when I initially got it, I had it in capsules, and I had a whole bunch of the capsules that I just kept on taking it every day, trusting that maybe it would do something from it. Maybe that I would get some sort of benefit, and ultimately I took it out of my stack, and I definitely did, feel that I was a little bit more anxious than typically. Is it okay if I mix? By the way, what do you guys think of G Fuel? I'm considering making a video review on G Fuel. G Fuel is that it's a very popular nootropic blend, you can say, for gamers. So think of it like improve your hand-eye coordination, your motor control, even things like your memory to some extent, energy levels. Is it okay if I mix alpha brain, lion's mane, and anurastam? What else should I add for more focus? That's a good question. Axel, I think those are okay. With alpha brain, if I remember correctly, to add more focus, you could consider adding a little bit more tyrosine. You could, or I think they have Nalt over there. You could consider adding a little bit more caffeine, and that should give you some better focus. Hey, Mike, just wanted to stop by and say hi. Well, I appreciate that, Peck. And hello to you too. I remember seeing your comments, and you're easier to remember because you're one of the few people who have a picture. I think you're the only person with a picture. Guys, we need more pictures. You get to see me. Why can't I see you? ECA. I took too much Choline last night, and now I'm feeling a little bit sedated. Yeah. Oh my. Thanks for helping me to see that. I think the reason I'm feeling kind of sedated this afternoon is because I took some Choline. I'm feeling calm, but I'm not really feeling too eager to do some of the higher paying income producing activities. But that's okay. Do you know Shank Pushpi? Nope, I do not know this gentleman. Does ECA stack for weight loss? I don't like it. I mean, it's like, I will admit though, back when I was studying for my real estate exam, I kind of forgot this, but when I was studying for my real estate courses, I finished like you could say an 8-month course in like 3 or 4 months. And it was probably due to the ECA stack, because with the ECA stack, you're just stimulated like all the time. And ephedrine, one thing I like about ephedrine is that you can use ephedrine later in the day, from my experience, but you can't really use caffeine. For me, if I use caffeine within like, let's say 7-8 hours of sleeping, it'll keep me up. With ephedrine, I was able to use it like 5 or 6 hours within sleeping, and I'm still able to be productive yet fall asleep. Ephedrine is really good for focus, doesn't energize you as much as caffeine. And when it comes to weight loss, I realize I'm not answering your question yet, Derek, because you asked about weight loss. I think that's too strong on your adrenals and overall just your body to take that many stimulants. I don't think anyone should be doing it. Taking too many stimulants has a lot of problems with it. It will affect your decision making. It's almost like you'll find it hard to retain things like long term when you're studying, and just you want to make sure your memory's kind of on point, and be mindful of that. When I dropped weight using the ECA stack, I noticed I was holding a lot of water at the end of it, like just water weight. I looked horrible. It was really strange. Does L-tyrosine have to be taken with other nootropics to work? Nope, it does not, and that's what makes it wonderful. Yeah, sounds great. G Fuel. Yeah, sounds great. G Fuel. Yeah, G Fuel. Looking at the product, because I haven't given it a shot, it's good. I mean, considering that G Fuel only has 140 or 150 milligrams of caffeine, it's actually pretty effective. It's they say it can be compared with like Red Bull, the sugar-free, and the Rockstar sugar-free. Very similar ingredient profile. They've got taurine. They've got some citrulline malate. They've got a lot of vitamin B. and pretty small servings, so nothing to be concerned with as far as like trace calories or artificial sweeteners and too much stuff. It's come to think of it almost like a light pre-workout. That's what it looks like. Have you tried silbutamine? Yes, Coggin Grass. I did not notice anything from silbutamine. Can you tell us your top 3 appetite suppressants? Ooh. Number 1 would be ephedrine. Nothing really comes close to ephedrine for appetite suppression. Some other things help. ECGC, so green tea extract, the capsules, those can help. And caffeine's really good too. Some says that pramiracetam helps with understanding math, logic, and concepts. You said it's about work ethic and focus. Yeah, Taha. At understanding math, I didn't find that to be the case. Definitely, like your logical mind is kind of it's too switched on that it can blunt your creativity to some extent. You kind of feel a bit robotic with pramiracetam. I can see kind of not ideal for artistic individuals, but the stuff works. No, what does phosphatidylserine do? Phosphatidylserine really effective at reducing stress levels, especially good at improving your memory. Like for most people, your short-term memory seems a little bit off when you're sleep deprived, and you can like take 1 cap of phosphatidylserine and that effect is just gone. It's really strange. It's almost like you just went for like a jog, or you've taken a freezing cold shower. It just wakes you up in this kind of healthy, natural feel kind of way. Guys, don't mind giving this thing a like. Hopefully we can get some more people up in here. Wait, what? Am I really here when you're airing? Ever try? That's funny. Antamoxetine. Oh, there's another name for that. What is it? Antamoxetine. Oh, that's Strattera. I've never tried it, Anadale, but there's other people on this channel that specifically like it for ADHD. So like a safer alternative to a central nervous stimulant. Hey, Mike, will you be having a modafinil? Merry Christmas. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. Hello, what are some natural stimulants beside caffeine? I'm looking for something like, what are some natural stimulants besides caffeine? I'm looking for something with benefits like piracetam and racetam, but natural. Is there something like that? Dominic, some of these stronger amino acids will have that kind of effect. Come to think of it, like as I mentioned, L-tyrosine. Another good one is taurine, Taurine. You can get like a big tub. Typical serving would be about 1,500 milligrams. That's pretty strong. It also helps not only with energy but anti-anxiety as well. Some people like acetylcarnitine, so it's energy. And if you're looking for like a natural stimulant besides caffeine, quite honestly, it's like I know what kind of feel you're looking for. It's natural. You're gonna find it in food. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, then considering just spreading out your meals, and you should feel pretty energetic. Because I don't really know what you mean by natural stimulants. If you just need more energy, then that's the solution. What's good for retaining information? Just modafinil doesn't do it for me. Yeah, modafinil will not do it for you. And good thing for you to observe. Yeah, good thing you observed that. Man, it's so cool seeing some new names up in here. I'm so excited. 8Lock3. How did you guys find my channel if you're new to it? Because I appreciate you. And what's good for retaining information? Bacopa Minieri is really good. Piracetam is really good. Alpha GPC is good. What else? Rhodiola. Some people find there's a little bit of a memory benefit. Some people find a memory benefit with lion's mane. I don't myself. Ginkgo biloba is pretty safe, but more effective with elder individuals. And I think Bacopa is the most important one. From my experience, that's been the case with modafinil and even with caffeine. I did not find I was able to retain information better. What I found more so with modafinil, with caffeine, you're able to get through information very quickly. However, when it comes to like retaining it to your memory bank and being sure it's there when you need it, no, it was not that effective. So consider those nootropics and I'd be happy to know how you progress. Fox, you seem addicted to modafinil. Are you good, bro? That's funny. I tried silbutamine energetic, but I don't drink coffee. RM, hello RM. Have you tried HGH? No. What kind of individual do you take me for? Try Shankshukpi with piracetam and alpha GPC. It will help you understand what you're reading. Okay, cool. Do you do any practices before taking pramiracetam? It mutes my emotions too fast. Not that it doesn't work great. It just feels really strong and manic to some extent. Any advice on getting my mind and Yeah, Rohan, what for whatever reason, the times when I've had the best experiences with Pramarastam, I listen to like binaural beats in the background or some sort of like calming music, as otherwise it just mutes your emotions so much that you get a bit too like introspective, and it can be hard to do a bit of work. So considering using something like that, or what I like using is one of these bad boys. This is my little productivity hack. It's called a metronome. Like piano players use it, and what happens is you can use the timer as like a beep, right? So it just beeps back and forth, and yeah, pretty cool stuff. Let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Oh shoot, tempo. So it just beeps back and forth. There's your Pramarastam hack. Greetings from Algeria. Can you please mention again the alternative to ADHD medication that you mentioned? Well, not that I particularly use it for that, but Strattera, or I think the other person mentioned, I can't remember the name, antamoxetine. A lot of people use it actually over here. It's interesting. Hey, Mike, I tried the Nootropic Depot version of caffeine and L-theanine and slept deeply. How to maximize its effectiveness? I don't know, man. There's some people who just have a backwards neurochemistry, and caffeine seems to sedate them. I think it's maybe due to people who actually have like severe ADHD. I see this is actually pretty common that they use stimulants and this happens. Hey, Mike, I bought phenylprastime from Nootropics Depot to help with studying, and I don't feel anything. Then how did you take it? Habibi Love, if you took it, if you got it in the capsule version, then I would recommend you consider breaking up the capsule apart and put like half the capsule under your tongue. For whatever reason, the powder version of the phenylprastime, I don't know if I'm the only one or I'm just crazy, but the powder version is just more effective than the typical capsules of the 100 milligrams, because I think that's pretty much how they have it. Is Cultivate Elevate brand of Lion's Mane potent enough? Cultivate Elevate. Is that the powder, the one they say to mix with coffee? Cultivate Elevate is I've never tried their Lion's Mane product itself. I've tried their six mix mushroom blend. That's Cultivate Elevate. It's a really good product. I took some time off it, but I'm gonna be getting back on. It's got reishi, it's got Lion's Mane, it's got cordyceps, and has some other mushroom nootropics that I can't remember. Dosage for PS helps maintain the fluidity and permeability of brain cells, improving the flow of dopamine and acetylcholine. Good stuff. And dosage for benzo, man, fatty boom boom. I'm totally removing that comment. That is not okay. You might do better with 100 milligram L-theanine capsules. That's a really good point. Yeah, with the L-theanine, it's unfortunately like the capsules are 200 milligrams each, and that's going to be too much for a lot of people. It's pretty relaxing and it's pretty strong. So for that specific reason, I actually got the I got the capsule and I got the powder as well, because the powder, if I just want to take like 50 milligrams of L-theanine, sometimes like perhaps pre-workout, then that's actually enough, and it's enough to notice it and feel kind of calm, feeling like that, you know, that state you get post meditation. Wish I saw what Boom Boom said. Prastime for brain plasticity, question mark, right? Yeah, CMAX is good, Lion's Mane is good, vitamin D is really good. I made a video on that for nootropics to for nootropics to help grow new brain cells. And Fallon's Fox, what else we got here? The ADHD medication. Yeah, Pramarastam. Use Pramarastam, it takes a bit of time for it to start working. Some people take like a mega dose. I don't recommend it, but I've heard from some people who've taken like 900 milligrams at once, and then they really feel productive. They can get, you know, they can do like 3 or 4 hours of like really good productive work, but that's just a huge dose. So the way I'm typically taking it is like 300 milligrams to max 3 times per day. And I'm gonna look at questions. Bro, I appreciate you so much. What are your thoughts of rhodiola rosea using it pre-workout? I don't prefer taking it pre-workout. However, if I did work out in the later portion of the day, then I would have a little bit of fatigue built up throughout doing work or whatever, studying during the day. And that's one reason why I think I would take it pre-workout. However, because I work out first thing in the morning, I'm not using rhodiola rosea. And additionally, what I found with rhodiola rosea is like about an hour after it's kind of, you can kind of feel it. There is a little bit of a come down. It's not really a crash. It's just like you don't really feel as good. And I don't want to feel that way in the middle of my workout itself. The person says they just started using rhodiola rosea and they feel an increase in mental and physical, as well as increase in their libido. Cool. I've not noticed that with the libido, but rhodiola rosea is probably my favorite adaptogen. Then I saw what's new and coming about Noots and where to have info on the new things. The Fox, I already ordered 3, the Cultivate, and they're arriving. I saw them. What's new and incoming about Noots? To have new information, Reddit Nootropics, there's some interesting information there, but mostly it's like studies and like recycled information. I think there's a couple of good Facebook groups, and besides that, I don't really know. You guys have any thoughts around that? Really, just like look at the comments on my channel or something, because I think we hear a lot of it first. A lot of you have told me about some nootropics before I even noticed them myself and get attention across, some major brands. So is this channel? Considering the size of the channel and that it's not a huge channel, we have so many comments. So do just look at the videos and you'd be surprised as far as what you can learn. People post their experiences, and I'm just super appreciative because I'm probably learning just as much as you guys from the community here. You're so important. You are so on point regarding the introspective part while taking Pramarastam. Thanks for the hack. Good. You're very welcome. I saw a brand called Tonic. Their stuff seemed pretty quality. Okay, cool. Can you take modafinil and L-tyrosine at the same time, or will the modafinil affect the absorption of the L-tyrosine? Anime Pie, you can take them at the same time, or I do, and because I don't take that much modafinil to the point where I should be that concerned with modafinil. Just be mindful though that it does make your heart rate speed up a little bit faster than normally. So because that's going to happen because you're going to get that effect from the L-tyrosine, then I would recommend that, of course, you try them both individually first, make sure that you respond okay. And the only time when I think I would do that is probably for exercising, given that L-tyrosine is going to give you a nice boost to have a better workout. And modafinil, I mean, it's okay. It's not as noticeable from my experience as the L-tyrosine. And the other nice use I have for L-tyrosine when I'm on modafinil, specifically if I'm experiencing like a caffeine crash. So when you have a caffeine crash, you have a lot of brain fog. You can't really do anything. You're low energy. Don't want to really talk to people, but L-tyrosine will give you a nice pick me up. Do you consider sugar a nootropic? Not really, no. Hey Mike, any good brand of weight gainers / muscle building powder products that tag along with nootropics? Thanks in advance. No, not really. I would actually consider weight gainers being like an anti-nootropic, because most of them are not going to have enough fat. They're going to have a lot of sugars. They're going to have a lot of carbohydrates. They'll be a bit heavy along with some protein. And in terms of it, like, you may feel okay for a couple hours, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that kind of nootropic and productive friendly. What is your opinion on, Mike, would you mind telling me your preferred Wellbutrin dose? For productivity, assuming you practice intermittent fasting, that's when it's really effective, like 300 milligrams XL. For taking the 150 milligrams SR, I've only tried those two, the 300 milligrams XL and the 150 milligrams SR. The 300 milligrams XL seems to be more effective when it comes to mood, energy levels. The 150 milligram SR, the only nice use of it is that it really does blunt your appetite. So I'm thinking when I do take time, when I do get off of Wellbutrin, also known as bupropion, maybe the only time I'll use it is if I'm doing like a small mini cut and trying to drop weight, because it does really suppress your appetite, yet allows you to be productive. What's your opinion, the best nootropic to replace ADD meds? Pale 1998, if you want like a long answer to that which has all the options, watch the video on 5 alternatives to Adderall. But I think the ones which I referenced in that video, Quiliamine, because that has a number of nootropics mixed in one. Caffeine and L-theanine, if you spread that throughout the course of the day, maybe modafinil. When it comes to nootropic to replace ADD meds, you're going to need a number of nootropics, which is why the best thing I could do is say, look at taking a nootropic blend versus one thing. Because with ADD meds, they work for so long, whereas with the nootropics, especially the ones we talk about on this channel, 3, maybe 4 hours max as far as the benefits are concerned. What's the difference between beyond the RDAB stack? I don't understand the question. If you can say that again. Any nootropics recommendation for learning an instrument like piano? Piano, Rohan, depending on your desire to do it, because when it comes to like learning an instrument, when it comes to like learning a language, I think most people don't realize it, but it takes a lot of drive and ambition, and you kind of got to force yourself sometimes. So you want to encompass the nootropics, which are going to help you with your memory, but the nootropics as well, which are going to help you with work ethic. And that's why like Noopep could be good, Bacopa could also be good too. Hey, Mike, any thoughts or experience with, Citral? That product has worked well with me with phosphatidylserine in my stack and some other adaptogens. In the grand scheme of things, though, for being more productive, I don't think it's that effective, especially if you're already getting like a good benefit like you would from taking some choline. Do you ever take Cognizin in place of alpha GPC, or do you know anyone who does? Yeah, Alex, there's a lot of people on this channel that prefer Cognizin versus rather than alpha GPC, because with Cognizin, you're less likely to get a bit of brain fog. Some people get bad mood or headaches with alpha GPC. If that's the case, because I've noticed that recently, the way why I would use Cognizin is, let's say I'm not using the racetams, then maybe it's appropriate. I find that with alpha GPC, it's good if you're taking the racetams because the racetams are so heavy and you just need to take more choline, but usually you don't really need that much choline, and alpha GPC is so strong that perhaps you could be better off with the Cognizin. So I'll be playing with that. I'm actually right now going to be taking alpha GPC in the morning, pre-workout, and then throughout the course of the day, when I go about taking my other nootropics, like once at 2 o'clock, once again at 6 o'clock, I'm going to have 1 cap of the Cognizin, and I'll let you all know how that goes. Hey, Mike, what is the difference between taking alpha GPC plus Noopept 1 times a day in the AM and 3 times a day following your schedule? Jampy, similar to like consider taking a cup of coffee. Like, what's the difference between taking it once in the morning and taking it 3 times a day? You get more of the benefits as far as like energy, focus, whatever you get from it. Same thing with alpha GPC and Noopept, especially Noopept. It's pretty short lasting. However, some people I'm hearing are saying they like taking like 30 milligrams of Noopept once per day, like once in the morning, because I think that's what the capsule serving size is at Nootropics Depot. Short, mid / long-term difference. Jampy Gaming, short / mid / long-term difference. I don't really understand the question. Just it's important to note, like, Noopep doesn't last again for a long time, so 2 to 3 times a day is what I would recommend to anyone who's working long hours, right? I think Lion's Mane helped me improve my piano playing skills. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can see that, because with Lion's Mane, you're more likely to like finish your piano playing session and look at it and reflect, like, what could I have done to make this session better? Mike, can you recommend an exercise, routine exercise for BDNF? Zayed, go for a run, ideally in sunlight, and take a freezing cold shower afterwards. But aerobic exercise, specifically like running, seems like the best thing overall for BDNF. And if you have any concern, or maybe thought that maybe you're a little bit low testosterone, then it's more important that you incorporate weight training for sure. How do you keep your ego in check? You seem like such a polite dude. It's like the racetams has shot up my ego and self-esteem. Is there a learning curve on adapting to them? Ron, it could be because you're eating too low of a fat diet. So consider with the racetams or any nootropic that you notice increase your irritability, add more fat to your diet, saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat. How do I keep my ego in check? I think for a long time, people kept on telling me I had a big ego, so I just became more observant of it. I studied the ego a lot, because you notice that when you take the E out of the ego, then you go. So you go. Rohan, I think he's naturally robotic. Oh, man. I'm recently following your channel, and you have amazing content. I'm planning to use nootropics, but not sure what stack to use with my pre-workout. Can you help me with building a basic stack? That's a comment on the video. Let me know what your goals are, guys. If you ask me for like a random stack, it's very hard to just kind of say a stack without knowing much more about what's working for you, what has worked for you in the past, what hasn't worked, and what you're trying to accomplish. Hey, thank you so much. You really helped me out. Yeah, Mo, I'm happy to help. Hey, have you had a brain scan? If not, I think it would be a good idea for a video, having some measurements you can show, I feel would make for a good video. Yeah, I don't know if it's as simple as bodybuilders who show their blood work. I mean, the closest thing you can do is like use one of those meditation apps that show how kind of calm your brain is. Like I was mentioning Muse, that little meditation device before. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to, I don't know if we got that kind of technology to measure such things yet. So someone says, where can I find NSI-189? I'm really not sure. I haven't used NSI-189 since 2016, maybe something like that. What is your opinion on MCT? The Nilo, for most people it works. I think like 20% of people it doesn't work for, something like that. I think it's more likely to work with males than females. For whatever reason, I don't notice the benefit that other people do with MCT oils. Maybe because a lot of the men in my family have had diabetes. So I don't know. I don't respond that well to saturated fats like that. They actually make me like a little bit tired versus boost me with energy. But I think if you're in ketosis, then it could be more effective. The promise with MCT oil is like it's a fat that can be more efficiently used as a fuel source versus other fats like olive oil, or taking like some nuts, just like immediate digestion. Some people even get a good benefit pre-workout when they take some MCT oil. I tried Nootropic and it helps with two things: verbal fluency and speed of thought. For example, I play PUBG and I feel speed of thoughts but no motor skills. I hope you understand my point. That is really funny. I feel speed of thought. Okay, cool. I don't think there's a question over there. With Nootropic, it's something like you take it and your income will be better, so you just take more. For salespeople, I think they can definitely relate to that. Nootropic will be good to you. Man, I regrettably took some Tonkat and my bowel movements were not ideal. Is this your experience? Teenage experiment. Hope you don't mind me saying this, but Teenage Experiment is doing the carnivore diet, so it's pure meat. So I'm thinking that that's probably the reason why your bowel movements are not ideal. Sorry for the poor question. I'm trying to build up my ability to work long hours. I feel like I'm too calm and peaceful, and I can't generate enough assertive energy to keep working all day. Ooh, I like answering questions with nootropics, but that is, I think, more so to do with the fact that you probably don't have structure in your day and you're not taking breaks. For me, I mean, I'm able to work long hours because I take breaks. My whole day is not super intense. I take a nap. I take a nap. I do like a daily meditation or two. I read. I'm trying to start reading. I'm trying to start read fiction, but it's boring as hell. Yeah, probably shook things up a bit. What's your stack currently and how do you switch it up? I don't switch up my stack too frequently. If anything, I just add a new nootropic to experiment it for all of you and for obviously my own curiosity as well. My current stack looks like a good mix of the adaptogens to fight stress. Looks like the racetams to help me with my work ethic, my focus, my concentration, my ambition. And then I have some nootropics that I use around working out, exercise. So I'll take a pre-workout and then I'll take some post-workout nutrition. And I'm doing the whole intermittent fasting thing. And by keeping things pretty fixed, not changing things too often allows you to better judge whether they're working or not. And when it comes to caffeine, I'm typically using like 300 to 400 milligrams per day, but pretty much just because I'm doing the intermittent fasting thing. And I must admit, without caffeine, going through that fast is pretty difficult. So are racetams a wake feeling like caffeine, or do you not feel it? Eunice, no, you don't really feel it. If anything, you do feel oxyracetam and you do feel Nootropic slightly. So because of that, I would definitely recommend that you do take some time off of those, especially with Nootropic. Don't even go like 6 weeks straight taking it. Like 4 weeks on, 1 week off is good. Supposedly, caffeine negatively affects neurogenesis. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, Derek, I remember this is not like new. It specifically negatively affects neurogenesis in the hippocampus. And that's one reason why I don't promote like excess caffeine use. I mean, very simply put, it makes you dumb. Like, it stops you from basically having optimal neurogenesis and keeping your brain plastic to keep on learning. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you have to decide, because sure, it will not positively affect neurogenesis. However, if you're using caffeine to help you exercise, and then you're exercising and getting the benefits with neurogenesis, then can we really say caffeine is a bad thing? So that's my rationale behind ingesting caffeine or coffee, is that it's making me exercise, which is in the grand scheme of things going to be a reason why it's good. But that also is a reason why you should not be taking too much. So don't take too much caffeine, because like most people who take 6 or 7 cups of coffee a day eventually regret it, and then they have withdrawals, which are absolutely horrible. But I'm really surprised that that's not mentioned more often, like the problems with caffeine intake, because otherwise, I mean, if there weren't that many problems, then people would be taking like 6, 7 caffeine and L-theanine capsules every single day. Which best racetam for working memory? Piracetam and aniracetam. Maybe pramiracetam, but no, I think those two are kind of more important for specifically for memory. Is there a nootropic for more aggression / assertiveness? I'm a manager and I'm too soft, not holding people accountable, wanting to be liked. Jampy, do you exercise, just out of curiosity, if you don't mind sharing? But is there a nootropic for more aggression / assertiveness? Look into some of the things which I've discussed regarding testosterone and making sure that that's okay. Because it sounds like maybe your testosterone's a little bit low. Maybe even your thyroid's low. So get a full blood panel. Make sure your vitamin B is good, like your diet's good. And if you're too soft, then Noopep's good. The racetams, like I mentioned, are good. And be mindful of how much of the adaptogens you're taking. But lion's mane, you kind of notice you'll have a little bit more courage. That with aniracetam too, because courage specifically is like, what is courage? Courage isn't doing something without fear. Courage is like having fear and doing something anyway. So that will come generally from ambitious as well. Mike, how much piracetam do you have left? Oh, I've been out of piracetam for maybe about a couple months now. Can you describe the difference between caffeine and L-theanine 2-to-1 and 1-to-2? Yeah, RDAB, it's pretty much exactly what you like. It's exactly what you think it is. So caffeine, L-theanine 2-to-1 is going to be more caffeine than L-theanine. So think of it like being very stimulated, not getting as much as the calm benefit, the relaxed benefit that you would get with L-theanine. And with the 1-to-2, a little bit less caffeine, a little bit more relaxed. The 1-to-2, I would say, is better for productivity and getting work done, because you don't have too much caffeine, therefore the crash isn't that bad, and you're able to be somewhat calm. With the caffeine L-theanine, the 2-to-1, you are very productive, but just the problem is you have the crash. So in the grand scheme of things, for like 5 or 6 hours of work, it's not that good for performance. I would much rather have like the 1-to-2 and split it up maybe by 2 hours. Do you watch Jordan Peterson? Not really anymore. I think when he became very popular, I watched a bunch of his stuff on YouTube. I read his book, 12 Rules for Life, because he's from my school. He was a professor for psychology at University of Toronto, and that, of course, would get anyone from Toronto's interest in terms of feeling. How do you get the energy without the increased cortisol and anxiety? Danilo, are you referring to caffeine or anything specific? How to get the energy without cortisol and without increased cortisol and anxiety? There's a lot of ways to get energy without increased cortisol and anxiety. Can you be more specific? I took 50 milligrams of phenylpiracetam and noticed literally nothing. Any thoughts? It's a pretty low dose, teenage experiment. I noticed phenylpiracetam the most when I'm fasted, but some people need to take like 200 milligrams, unfortunately, to feel anything from it. When I take 50 milligrams of it, if anything, maybe in the later portion of the day, like 10 hours afterwards, I'll feel slightly more alert. You could probably find a company near you that will do an MRI scan. You can see how much oxygen and glucose your brain is using. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I mean, if I knew there was a benefit, then sure, I would take it. Oh, Felix, I really apologize. I saw you ask the question before about PRL 853, and I didn't answer. Yeah, I did try PRL 853, expecting a benefit with memory, but didn't notice anything from it, unfortunately. Yes, almost exclusively anaerobic long distance running. Yeah, Jumpy, then if you're soft, anaerobic long distance running. It's like the same activity which can kind of reduce your cortisol levels, unfortunately. Like long distance running, not a lot of sprints. Maybe you're just tiring yourself out and you're not eating enough. It's hard to say without knowing the whole picture. But is there a nootropic that can give you more aggression / assertive? I feel more aggressive for sure while taking Tribulus by Now, the Now Sports or Now Foods brand. I saw an ad for a cognitive care consultant around me. I didn't know that they existed, but they work stuff like neuroimaging and stuff like that. Okay, very cool. I took 50 in terms of feelings. Word again, I'm probably not taking, I didn't notice any positives. What are you referring to? Oh, Fallon's Fox. Yeah, in order to substitute paracetam, I was using aniracetam and some pramiracetam, or a little bit more oxiracetam than normal, but that hasn't really done much for me. Now I'm just taking a little bit more choline and hoping to get some of the benefits, because with paracetam it was some really good stuff and yet to find an alternative, unfortunately. Which brand do you take of the Tomcat Alley? I still take the 2% version from Nootropic Depot. It's really potent stuff. It's now been about a week since I've been using it again, and I could definitely feel it working. One of the good signs outside of fitness is being able to function with less sleep. 100% it does that. And pure. Guys, I think that's it. We're out of questions, but hope you found this helpful. We got a new video coming with the unboxing, and I'll still be putting out content despite holidays. But if any of you are going on vacation, then enjoy yourself. Stay safe. Be sure to share my channel and keep on commenting. And I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you all soon. Have a great Monday. Take care.